Hey Anonymai, Junior and I are here today. Say hey, Junior.
Hi.
And we have ourselves an original bank wrapped 1973 Denver penny. Uh, I snagged this on eBay in a combination deal that I already had free shipping from a seller. So I got this for $3. I took a little bit of a gamble on it because this is a notoriously difficult to find in high grade cent. So we're going to go through these cents. We're going to open this up. And the lay of the land here is that MS64 coins can be found. That's not difficult. MS65 are a little tougher. MS66s are very tough, and 67s are almost unheard of. So if you find a 67, you're in jackpot territory. If you find a 66, you did really well. So that's not that unusual of a lay of the land, but for some reason this year in Mint Mark is known for having spots and nicks, and the color just isn't great. So we're going to go through here. It's a very tightly wrapped bat door roll, and we're going to see if we can find ourselves any 66s or 67s. And we'll show you what we find in our scope when we're done. We'll lay these things out and give you an idea of what we think the grades are. We'll also look for any RPMs or anything like that under the scope. So I will get back with you guys. Well, we'll go ahead and open it and take a look at it together as it lays out. And when I handle pennies, I go and I wash my hands. I get all the oils off my hands to make sure that I'm not going to leave any fingerprints. I find that if I'm using gloves, I am dropping coins the whole time. So we'll take a look. See how the edges look together? A little brown. Edges are a little brown. We'll pull one of these out here at random.
They look kind of like normal pennies.
So as you can see, there's a couple spots in the right field there. Some nicks on the shoulder. The strike is good, not amazing, but good. Spot to the left of the head. MS64. The reverse is pretty clean. MS64. So anyway, that's kind of how we're going to go through these one at a time. We'll lay them out by what we think the grades are and get back with you when we've gone through them and give you a look at just the highlights. Alright guys, so short version, UGLY. This roll ain't got no alibi. They're ugly. Yeah, they're ugly. There's a reason why MS67 commands about $800 for this year in Mint Mark. The 66s aren't that out of line with what I would consider the norm in the $25 to $35 range, but 67s, you're not going to find them like this. That's why they're so expensive. You may, but it would be a jackpot. You can see how I laid this out rather optimistically, giving myself slots for 67s and 66 pluses and 66. I don't think I have anything over a 65. Even then, some of these 65s that I've got here in this row, 65 on a good day, they're not necessarily a lock. I would not confidently send these in thinking this is a 65. Not that I would anyway, because slabbed and graded, a 65 is worth $7 to $10, and it would cost at least 20, closer to 25 bucks per coin to get them graded. These two here are the end coins. They're ever so slightly different colors. Nothing to write home about. And I did find two that had an identical die chip. So that's probably the coolest thing out of this roll, was a couple of neat die chips, and I'll show you that under the scope. And then this one had some wild color. I'll show you that under the scope too. So I'm not using a tripod. Bear with me, be patient. I'll start you with the coins that were a little bit nicer. This one right here is one of my ones that I labeled as a 65 possible. You can see it does have some spotting. Almost all of them had a lot of spotting. But you can see here that the ear, there's not a lot of definition between the ear and the hair. His eye has almost no detail. This is actually one of the better bow ties. You can barely make out that it's a unique thing apart from the jacket. The date is well struck. The fields are clean. A lot of these looked like over-polished dies, and there was a lot of gouging running from east to west across the fields, and this one didn't have that, so that made it a little more attractive. Here's another one. You can see here there is some scratching on his face, no definition in the beard. The eye is almost indistinguishable from anything else. The ear can barely be seen apart from the hair. You can see the bow tie, not sharply, but you can see it. So this is one of the 4 better ones. Another one that wasn't too bad here. This may be the best coin of the bunch. The number of spots on this are very low as compared to the rest. I might pull this one apart just so it doesn't sit in the roll with those other ones and continue to turn green. Again though, soft strike on the ear, can barely make out the eye. The beard has almost no defining characteristics. Soft bow tie. This one was clean, had good detail. The color is not great. It's hazy. The luster is, I guess the luster is not great. The color, it's okay, but they go hand in hand. The coin is somewhat clean, which is why I put it in my better pile. You can see that there's not a lot of spotting going on. And then I'm not going to show you all 50, but I'm going to pull a few at random. So that row of MS64s, this one has more spotting. A lot of it up here. Same terrible strike. It's difficult to show you everything, but it's got more scratching. I'll pull one more out of this 64 pile. Here's one that, this is what I'm talking about. It looked like an over-polished die. These are uncirculated coins. This thing is scratched east to west, like this die got used one too many times. So tell me what you think about that. That's not bag marking. There's no marking on the high points here on the dates, Liberty. It's just on the field, so that's why I'm thinking over-polished die. I had another row that was labeled 63, and to be honest, they're not all 63. This roll was so poor, even uncirculated, these things were showing MS62s, 61s. There's another gouged. A lot of spotting plus gouging. Pull another one at random here. This one had a lot of spotting, very green, very ugly. I think this one would have been cleaner if it wasn't so hazy and colored. The reverses look the same. I haven't been showing you a lot of the reverses, but there weren't a lot of them that had one really great side and one poor side. They were pretty consistent. If the front was crummy, the reverse. If the obverse was crummy, the reverse was crummy too. Here's a hazy one. Hazy and green. Just very ugly. Now for the fun stuff, we did find 2 die breaks. I'll get you nice and close here. You can see between the end of the 9 and the D, there's a cute little die break. And this coin isn't terrible. It's not great. It's probably, it would have, if I were organizing this with the rest, it probably would have ended up in the MS64 pile. And then, same thing here, same die chip, die crack. You can see it between the 9 and the D. It's a little softer, a little less developed, as far as I can tell. This one has more spotting, but the fields were not terrible. I don't know, MS63 maybe. This one here, out of all the hazy coins, this one was kind of interesting. It's straight up red-brown. This is a red-brown scent, and the only thing cool about it is that it's not green goopy spotting. It's developing into some purples and some greens and some blues. So there's some rainbowing going on there. I may separate this one out too. Since I'm not excited about this roll, I'm not too worried about keeping the roll together. But that was a cool coin. The end coins were not colored that differently. This was one of the ends. And then this end coin did have some exposure toning. You can see there's some coloring around the rim where the paper was contacting the coin, and a few extra ugly spots. Sorry, I'm not holding this as steady as I should. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I'll put one of the pretty ones up here while we finish up. But 73D, that's a very tough year. If you can find a nice 73D, you'll have a payday. And at the very least, we'll just put it in a tube, sock it away. It didn't cost us a lot of money, but it was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go out there and try to find some beautiful 73Ds. Happy hunting.